Hello, hello, and welcome yet again for another beautiful podcast. We've had a little bit of an issue last weekend. There was some, some stuff that came up that we had to unfortunately postpone it. Today we almost had to postpone it as well because Benny had a major accident.
It was an absolutely terrible medical accident. I cut my finger and I had to go and run and get a Band-Aid.
But
And
yeah,
I couldn't
welcome.
find one in my house.
Hello.
As you can see, we have some very, I don't know what the English word, I was going to say colorful people, because look at the clothing they have chosen to wear today. My name is Just Gaming. I play Rainier, the Mayor Valentine. Underneath me, we got
It's never
Benny.
gonna be not funny to me. Hello.
You want to introduce yourself a little bit, Benny?
Oh, I thought we had introduced ourselves last time. Hi, I'm Benny. I play Cooper Cassidy, who is a bit of a criminal in Insisica currently. I used to play Isaac Huckabee. I've also played Luther Dalton. And my most recent character that some of you might know is Emmett Sawyer, who is a lawman over in LSO. He is a new LSO deputy.
And all right. Is there a particular reason you chose that colorful shirt today?
Not in any particular. This was my painting shirt. This is what I was painting minis in, so I didn't have a particular reason as to why.
Okay.
So you're painting what?
This is my mini painting shirt. I was painting minis yesterday at a competition, and so this was my painting shirt because it's the easiest for me to deal with. I'm gonna move my camera down just a wee bit.
Like Mickey Mouse?
Like like minis.
Yeah, miniatures.
What is that? Ah, that makes more sense.
Miniature yesterday that was all gray when I got it, and then I painted it over the course of a few hours, and this is what I got. So
That looks lovely, darling.
thanks.
And
Very
the
nice.
bad part, as you can see the title, we got the good, the bad, and the two hosts. That was the good part right there. Here we go. It was the bad part. Introduce yourself.
I'm the bad
dirty.
part. Is he the bad part? Which one's the bad part? Me?
No, it's
Now
because
it is.
Bird's evil.
I'm not an evil man. I'm a good man.
He's a monster.
All right. Well, I'm Bird. I play the Pajama Marshal. I also play I don't play him anymore. I had my dead character Blandy. You know how you doing? Then I now have a character in Lemoyne with my lovely nephew Sawyer. And that's Mr. George Gretchen. And we are a part of the LFM team. So hello everybody. Hello. Check out these fresh
Indeed.
pajamas.
Very nice.
Very nice. And then we got the brains of the whole operation right over here. 99% of the podcast to my side right
Stop
here.
saying that. Stop saying that.
Introduce yourself and the podcast while we do it.
Stop
Come on.
saying
Come on,
that.
do that.
Stop saying that. I'm Dip. I play Douglas. He grows corn. Yeah, we're doing this podcast thing. This is now, what does it say up there? The third time. And we're doing we're already doing a sequel. So I guess that means that we had fun last time, and I hope you all had, and I hope you will again. We don't know what's about to happen today. So the brains of the operation is using less and less of his brain. And I guess we'll see if that's a good thing or not.
And for the people out there that don't know, Dip actually is the one that has the most extensive and biggest variety and colorful socks in the world. He always
wanna
wears.
see
He
him
does
now?
have an interesting pair.
Yeah.
All right, check this out.
Normally charges for this.
It's all free today.
Ranch
We got
Roleplay OnlyFans.
We got
server.
shrooms on them. I'm not very flexible. You just got to deal with it. Look at this.
For free.
Pretty
You're
cool,
getting
huh?
Not very
Clip
flexible,
that.
he says as he puts his knee in
There's
his
there's
chest.
2 layers. There's 2 layers of socks because it's cold here. I want to waste money on heat.
All right. But let's get into it.
Some
Last
amateur.
time we kept going for so long that at the end we all agreed that we're gonna be, we're gonna do a part 2 of this because fucking there's too much stuff to talk about. Let's not curse too much. We'll let Bird do all that. But before we start, Bert actually has a public service announcement. Before we start, he has something he really want to share with you guys.
Okay, listen. McDonald's, way back in the day, maybe 15 years ago, they had High C Orange Lava Burst. Okay? Now, High C Orange Lava Burst, if you don't know what it is the best drink that has ever been created in the entire world. And about 3 or 4 years ago, they brought it back. I have myself personally wrote 60 emails to McDonald's asking for its return. And the day that it came back, I got it. And today, I'm blessed to have a very large High C Orange Lava Burst.
I was very curious on where that was going when you started with McDonald's a long time ago, and I was
Yeah.
like, where are we headed here? Like,
It's my favorite.
What can you describe the taste?
Orange.
Very good.
I don't know. It
Not-
doesn't
not
taste
the
like
fruit.
orange, but it
Not
tastes like the
fruit.
color orange. Yeah.
yeah, somebody really needs to make an orange flavored drink that's like purple, and just mess with everybody's head and be like, what flavor
I'd
is that?
drink
It's
it.
orange, but
As long as it's
purple.
High C Lava Burst, I'm fine.
That's hilarious.
Lava
All
I
right.
didn't know there was.
Last time we were talking about a little bit about stuff that were up and coming, right? There was some up and coming stuff that you were not, you couldn't talk about. So, what you got for us today, Bert? What you got for us? Come give us the juicy shit.
Benny, remember we've been talking about this. So,
Yes.
Saint Denis needs a little bit of love, right? I mean,
It
it needs
does.
love with the law. It needs
There's a lot that
little
happens
something
there.
special. There's a lot. A lot of moonshining, a lot of nonsense, a lot of
Mhm.
petty
Trumpets.
crimes and
Thievery in the
things.
alleys.
Exactly. That trumpet man is always causing a ruckus on the end of the square, and people got to beat him up. That's just how it goes. But
Deserved.
we at LFM, Benny and I, have been putting this forward, and this has been a long time coming. It's still in the works, but we are going to be finding a workaround for not only Sisika, but for Saint Denis itself as a whole when it comes to law. Offline timers are back, so people are able to spend a lot of their time there. We have some wardens that do go there when they can, but there's also Saint Denis could use a little bit of love when there's that off time of no criminals there. So we've come up with the idea of having the Saint Denis Police Department. Now, the Saint Denis Police Department is not only going to be a law faction, which is going to most likely share jurisdiction with LSO, so it doesn't step on too many toes and doesn't take away, it just adds. But not only are they going to be stationed there, you're going to have your constables. Golden is working on being able to get some of those fancy little constable hats. And with that, we're going to be merging Sisika along with that faction. So you don't really have the need for wardens when you have constables that can go down there. The chief of police can run all of those things like that. But right now, we've talked to all of our law folk, and we are ready to push it out. We just need to lay down the groundwork, figure out who's going to go where and when, and exactly how it's going to be done so it's perfect to a T when it comes out. But that was the big thing that we had to talk to all the law offices about. Everybody seems pretty darn on board with it. So that is very exciting, and we are happy for that.
Everyone we've talked to has been really excited about it, and it seems something that has been kind of wanted. With this idea of having kind of a more distinctive, police department within Saint Denis and people that can kind of have more of an idea on what's going on in the city, and you can have more of that city life and that city law life because it is much different than everywhere else. So we're really looking forward to seeing that kind of grow and blossom, and then also being able to kind of, combat and kill that second bird at the same time with Sisika. And have it so that those places are a little more defined and have a little bit more going on in them, and it's a little bit more of a controlled area still with a lot to do because of how dense they are. So that's going to be really, really fun to see that get off the ground, and we were just kind of waiting to see that all the law was on board, and they were. We haven't heard too many dissenting opinions, there's been some, this could happen or that could happen, and we're trying to prepare for those circumstances as they come, and we're looking forward to seeing it all jump up off the ground and seeing the Saint Denis Police Department become a thing.
But what
there was internal talk of Charlie Lynn as chief of police, but now he's Marshal Charlie Lynn. So
yeah, well deserved as well. Yeah. I was the second. I believe that was the second interview. The second time he tried for Marshall, because I was there for the interview when he was there for his first interview. Question about that Sisika. You keep saying that you're going to be doing stuff in Sisika. I have warden not a warden, like guard, whatever it's called out there myself. I haven't heard any of this. Any juicy stuff on that? I'm quite interested in that myself.
They're going to be one in the same. So Saint Denis Police Department is not going to have wardens anymore. You'll be a Saint Denis constable or whatever we're going to end up naming them. We're not going to go too crazy with the thought process on that.
All right. Okay. Cool. But is there going to be any features that you can do stuff out in Sisika?
Present time, no. But will be discussed as we go forward with this.
All right. Cool. Because I make them like count flowers and apples.
One of the things that we got talked to about while we were having a discussion about the Saint Denis Bank, and something that kind of got put out as an idea, was this idea that we might be able to try and make the Saint Denis Bank robbable. As kind of like something, so that's something that may be down the line as a part of the Saint Denis Police Department. So to add a whole new experience for that, but we want that to be something too, that if you go to build up to the Saint Denis Police Department or Saint Denis Bank robbing, that it's like a build up. You know, you have to kind of get to that point because it's such a big, iconic sort of thing. So we're looking at doing that, and you know, there'll definitely be some neat things that'll get added over time. The Saint Denis Police Department will open up a lot of possibilities for what can happen within the city because there'll be more activity going on the ground.
What about punishment? You know, like I remember some time ago you upped the punishment. I think you added to the time. But now that we've gotten introduced offline service, you know, so people can go on secondary character or encourage people to create another character or take a break if that's what they need. But what about punishment? Are they going to be even bigger? Like now that you can serve it offline?
So right now, currently, where we're at, there is mixed feelings of how the punishment system is working, whether it be too long or some folk think it's not long enough. Disagreed, but the way that it is currently, we are trying to push lawmen into actively, instead of throwing people into Sisika, we want them to give them stuff to do out in their towns, have them clean the stores, especially if it's not crazy crimes. The last thing we want for criminals to be locked up for 2 hours, 3 hours with literally nothing to do. Nobody wants that. It's essentially a soft ban, and I don't think anybody enjoys that. Law don't enjoy it when there's nothing to do, and criminals don't enjoy sitting in there for the entirety of their time when that could be their only day off. So we are going to be having a chat with the entirety of the LFM team and maybe get a little bit of feedback from law when it comes to sentences and certain charges. Right now, I know the only one that I can really talk about, because I would like to speak on this one, is right now there is a attempted second-degree murder charge instead of aggravated battery, and a lot of people really aren't using agbat. So it's just a huge charge to stack onto something that you could just have in order to have the push of roleplay continue. So we'll most likely be chatting about those kinds of things. We're going to speak to Ellery since he is heading DOJ. We're going to be speaking with lawmen. We might even get some from criminal faction management so that they can give us their feedback on things, considering they play criminals very heavy. But yeah, those are some big things that we are going to be looking at the laws relatively soon.
What about
which is that's the idea for sure. No, you go ahead. Ask a question.
I was gonna ask a new question, so don't, if you want to add to a Bursa, just
go ahead. Ask a new question. I'm ready.
So I heard so when you said before that Saint Denis is gonna be his own department, along with so they're gonna incorporate Sisika within that, so everybody that works in Sisika also works in Saint Denis. What my question is LSO. Right, so LSO before was Lemoyne, which is Rhodes, Saint Denis, and sometimes they work together with an HSO for Annesburg and Van Horn, I believe. So right now LSO, after when this get implemented, right, LSO is just going to be Rhodes, right? So it's going to be called Rhodes Sheriff's Office.
No,
or is it going to be
okay. Still going to be LSO. I think Benny and I both agreed on that we would still like LSO to be a part of Saint Denis. We're not going to take that away from them. Otherwise, it's just counterintuitive of what we actually want to get done. We'd like to have both of those be able to work together, except there will be a separate head for the Saint Denis Police Department. Ideally, in my head, Lemoyne would pick one of their people to go over there. So it's still the same people. They still know their structure, and then they can get people trained up, and they can figure out how exactly they want the city to go.
What about
and that's
someone
definitely the idea. No, I'm just saying that's definitely the idea behind it, is that like we want it to be so that LSO can go in there, but they understand that when they go in there that it's, the chief of police is the one who's telling them what to do, where to go, how to be. If they say, hey, we've got this, then they back out of town and they go back to doing what they're doing, kind of thing. So kind of just to set up that there is a lot of knowledge and a lot of shared experiences, but then also to make sure that there's like a clear divide between St. Denis Police Department and LSO too.
Okay. Well, what about the people that made because I don't know if anybody else but me, but I made a Sissica Guard character, and he was only supposed to be out there, right? Anytime I go on land, it's just to go either buy smokes, food, or nothing really. I just go out in there, get what I need, and then go back. Am I gonna be doing like shit in Saint Denis now?
If you would like to. It's going to be, we're still have to talk to people, and we still don't have the groundwork for it. We just have the idea of it at the moment. So we still have to lay down a lot of the flesh to build it up. Ideally, if you're going to be in the Saint Denis Police Department, you will have that option if you'd like to do guard duty, or if you'd like to just be the constable that walks around town and things like that. I see Dottie goes, LSO keeps getting gutted. We will not be gutting anything in LSO. They will still be able to do... Nothing. Yeah, there'll
Everything
be no gutting. Yes, we've already had chats with these folks, so we will be making sure that nobody feels like they're getting slighted on this one.
Talking about gutting one department. One thing I noticed, because I talk to you quite often, Bert. Last time you gave a good shout out for your boys down in Wesso. And I think you mentioned that they like that. And do you know if they've had any any influx or like positive reaction from that?
Personally, I've been down there, and it seems like it's popping off quite a bit again. I think the deputies are having things to do, and I think they're happy about that, at least from what I've been speaking about. Of course, there's going to be days where certain towns are going to be dead or not, but for the most part, it seems like some folk have been, I don't know if they listen to us or it was just that time where people like to go over there, but there's been a lot of life in Blackwater, and I think the deputies feel like that's a breath of fresh air for them. So,
yeah, actually, I can comfortably say, in working in LSO the last few days, I've been seeing a lot of notifications for stuff happening over in HSO and the Wesso area, and I think it's kind of neat that they're getting a lot of that more activity and a lot of that crime, and things like that. So it's very interesting to see how it's kind of blooming and blossoming again, and everybody's kind of finding their new places they want to live and where they want to go. Okay, let's not get crazy. It's Monette.
Is that Miss Monet, Bloody
yes, that's hilarious.
How day, Monet.
Motherland, says Darcy,
Yeah.
followed by "Let's not get crazy."
Yeah.
What about some of the other areas? Like I know some Marceline just got town marshal down there in Armadillo now there. What about Tumbleweed, Coulter? What's the whole mountain area? Gambino? It's not called Gambino. It's called
Amberino.
Amberino. It's close enough.
I could probably answer this. Someone actually just brought this up to me the other day. Nothing in the works as of yet. Also, those kinds of things, I have no will to stop anybody if they choose to. If the marshals or coats, anybody wants to start pushing people to get in that direction. A couple of the marshals and a couple of lawmen kind of brought up the idea of maybe having town marshals in other towns, ones that maybe don't have law there 100% of the time. Like Annisburg, for one, would be nice to have like a little town marshal there, or maybe even have up in the snow in Amberino, like Coulter, that kind of thing. We're gonna see after we have some big chats, but unless Benny has something for that, personally, for me, it's just an idea at the moment.
Coulter and like those kinds of areas to me have always seemed kind of like they were off the beaten path for a reason. They're supposed to be places where not necessarily a lot of civilization or a lot of society is to me. Now, that's not to say that if people want to go up there and they want to make a society and they want to make something of it and they want to start building it up, I think that's a wonderful way to go about it. And then you eventually start to, I always, as Isaac, was big on let's build a town somewhere, especially now with placeables and camps. I'd love to see like a group of like 20 or 30 role players come together and be like, we settled Flatneck, or we settled Coulter and put a bunch of tents out, and this is where we live now, and and then they
Which
have to
is
go to the
possible through the
DOJ and be like, we
campfire.
need,
Yeah,
yeah,
the campfire
exactly,
mechanic.
like to be able to then go to the DOJ and go, hey, we've got like 20 of us that live up here and we have problems. We need a lawman, and to go through the role play of establishing a sheriff's department, in a little town, I think could be really fun. And so I think there's always room for something like that. But as far as like us having that on the radar and being like, this is something we need to focus on, it's not necessarily at that point. But if again, and I think I said this with the Saint Denis Police Department, we always have a lot of ideas, but it's sometimes hard to necessarily fit them in the role play without it feeling like it's being shoehorned. So if people come to us and go, hey, this is an idea that I have and this is the role play we have to support it, then it makes it a lot easier for us to kind of back it and get it inserted so that it works.
Yep. Last time we talked a little about what's it called? Livestock
Lots of things.
agency, something like
Nothing yet on it. Nothing
yet on it.
And nothing
yet.
until ranching is official.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
nothing
going to be
until
one of those
ranching.
things that's going to
We're
be
waiting
once
patiently, just
ranching's
Waiting game.
yeah,
right?
once
very patiently.
yeah,
But
once that's all put
so,
in.
So once that's put in, so let me rephrase the questions. Okay, how about what are their what are their jurisdiction? Are they going to be marshals? Are they going to be or is it going to be LSO livestock agency, or is it going to be initial? Or is it going to be state livestock agency? Can they apprehend people like the FAA? What are they going to be doing? You know what I mean?
More than likely, it might be something that we put under MDOR, considering that's when Oaks had originally came up with that along with Marceline. That was one of like the things was like MDOR would kind of have like a little ranching association, and maybe the role play is going to take it wherever it's going to go with that. The groundwork at the moment, it's just going to be probably some sort of agents that get specialized in this, and then they'll be the dudes that go over to the ranch. Yeah, Darcy said he wants to die about it. That's fine though. There's gonna be a lot that has to get adjusted. How we're going, what powers are they gonna have? What are they gonna be able to do? Because the goal for it forever is we're not trying to take anything away from the lawman. I want the lawman to have things to do. Lawman will still be able to go to these things, but the RLA will also be able to help out in those situations. Because let's say law are having a week where it's just consistently stuff in town, in the city, somewhere else, but you're going to need other dudes that can fully commit to that. So
yeah.
MDOR
like
can
a gang
pull
of
the people that are passionate. Yeah, they can pull people that are passionate about ranches. Let's say like Doug had somebody that was like, constantly going over the ranch trying to help them out. Maybe that person could be recommended like, hey, this guy helps us out. Let's see if we can get him over here, and he'll check up and do investigations. When there's cattle, they can look into like who's stealing our cattle, who's killing our cattle, things like that.
Yeah.
That's where we're at with that so far.
Okay, good. Okay, all right. I don't know if you guys want to talk about because I know it's LFM, so we are kind of not kind of, but you are in you have the doctors underneath you or part of the LFM as well. I don't know if you want to talk about the doctors, or you want to let have Chi in on another episode. I
would
know.
love to have Chi. Because
I'd love to have
we've
Chi in
entrusted
on
her
that.
fully with that, and she when I got her onto the server, like before we even started, and I told her I really would love if you could help us out build the doctor's office. So that's always been her little baby project, and she always does phenomenal work and way smarter than Benny and I when it comes to those types of things. So I think she'd be the perfect person.
Yeah, we have ideas for doctors, but honestly, it's one of those things that when she says something about doctors, we're like, okay, that is clearly the way to go in that direction, because she's very, very rarely wrong about much, and then she just it's been her baby project, like Bird said, since she got here. It's just one of those things that she just she gets it, she understands it, she knows, she can tell you why things were made in the original construction of it and why the decisions were made the way they were made, and it's just a limitless resource of knowledge, that woman.
All right. So we're just gonna leave. We're just gonna leave. We're gonna leave the.
If you want to talk doctors, she's the one to talk to.
Yeah. No. That's fine. When you try to when you think back of like let's say the departments around, because you guys have been around a lot. And you've been around for LFM quite a while, and you've been a marshal for quite a while now, Bird. But you've also been a sheriff down in West Elizabeth, down in Blackwater. What were what were some of the what was the structure like down there? How do you set up a sheriff's office? Do you just go out there? Because, one of the famous clips is Bird going, I built that, when you went off at Long Street. Everybody knows about that clip. You built that from the ground. You even said so. What's the process of building up like a trustworthy a group of people that you work with in there? A well-functioning sheriff's office?
For me personally, the way that I do things, which might be different than others, for anyone who has role played with my character, when we first started out, Marceline was the sheriff. Marceline's also one of the people that started up law as a whole. She wrote most of the documents. She wrote most of the citation forms, most of the things that we got set up. She put the groundwork for that. So she was very willing to do that. For me, I wanted to do bounty hunters, but they wanted FAS, so we handed it off to someone else. But then I jumped in as the under sheriff, and I did that for a long time. And then eventually, me and Maddie, we got a little burnt out. I think it's just because we had a lot of, she was coming down here, and then I was going to go there. So there was a lot of us not being around enough, which can kill a department. So we passed it off. And then one of my buddies, I think Oaks took over first. And then later down the line, Carlos Cervantes ended up taking over. And then Carlos, whenever he started to, feel kind of drawn out, I was already back in law. He promoted me to undersheriff. I worked with him. Then I got promoted. And the one thing that I've always found helps a department is one, which I lacked on for a while, was activity. You need activity. If you don't have your head figure, the guy who's supposed to be like the big boss, you kind of look for him for certain things. It's going to kill it. But the other thing, if you really want a good department, I think if you are the sheriff or you are the undersheriff, when you're looking at all these people that are in the department, they're in the sheriff's office because either A, they really love law RP and they want to, build their character around that sort of thing, or B, they want to serve with people that give them that feel. They're this rough and rugged, kind of cowboy that's bringing law and order. And I think whenever you find people, sorry?
Don't you also think that it's also like, because Bird is very charismatic character, and the way you facilitate role play as well, the way you just let people basically let the role play happen. Do you think that someone like you is also one of the things that people want? Like, they don't really necessarily want a law character; they just want to play with Bird. Like I've done that in the past. I've seen someone that I really want to play with, but I don't know how to incorporate my character in it, and I'd be like, "Hey, shit, man, I'll just make a law character and search, apply for Blackwater so I can play with him."
Well, I think I don't know. I feel like the way I like to do it is I'm very hands off. I know Knox, even West Elizabeth, does that whenever he was the undersheriff, and Clem did as well. But Clem was one of the people I hired, who's currently the sheriff there. I was always very hands off with them. A lot of the other departments, they had like investigations branches and detectives, and sometimes having like little things that separate you, so you're like, I'm a detective, like that's really good for people. But for me, I personally wanted everybody to be well versed in everything that they were going to do, so that their role play wasn't hindered. They didn't have to say, oh no, you can't do this investigation because you're not a detective, or whatever it might be. I want people to be able to do everything and then just kind of role play. Like when we had Blackwater, one of my favorite things, Dottie owned the store. I would go visit Dottie's store every day. I'd say, how's it going? What's going on? I would buy a coffee, or I'd buy something, or I'd just shoot the shit with the townsfolk. I knew all the townsfolk. I knew what they did. I know if they had like a romantic partner. I knew what they did. It's just, for me, like, if you really want that department, you have to kind of make the place that you're stationed at feel like your character's home. Like they're not just separated because they have a badge on.
Yeah, no, 100%. You got to set the example as well, and that's one of the things that I always, liked, is even in a little town like Valentine, is when the lawmen just walk around and actually interact and get to know the people that RP and Spencer then do their business around town. Like go down to Carl the blacksmith. And, how's the day going? You got any trouble lately? You need a hand with anything?
Yeah.
Just show that you're a human being. You know what I mean? Like, I really like that from lawmen when they become part of the town and not just part of that one building in town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you see
100%.
something like the new Saint Denis Police Department being able to do something like this as well? Because the place is massive.
I
The
think
Saint Denis Police Department, I want to just say, because my vision of that is the perfect place for people to play a community cop. Like, everybody has met the cop in the city that is a dick and is, and we get, there's a million of those that is a dime a dozen, but there is such a room for someone to then come into the city in such a rough and tumble place and be that community pillar that just comes up and is like, oh, hey, it's nice to see you. I brought you a cup of coffee. These boys keep running around here every freaking night and they're driving me crazy. There's a place for that kind of officer who's like, it's just the job for him. It's not, his life or his way. It's just the way he makes his living, and it's the way anybody else would live in the city. Like, because I think anybody, there's just, when you've been in a big city and you've experienced big city cops, when they're off duty, they're off duty. And they live a city life and they live like everybody else in the city that I've met anyway. And I just think there's a room for that, kind of nice door to door, just walking the streets, pulling the kid. I done caught you selling moonshine 3 times this week, Mike. I've done told you not to do like there's something, there's that line of role play to open up too.
That's so good. That's exactly what that's exactly what I want to see, because to me, I know we got all these corruption degrees that you can apply for corruption level 1, 2, 3, super corruption, killbird corruption. You know what I mean? Like, but the town constable, whatever, this is walking around and saying, "God damn it, Tommy! You're supposed to be a little orphan boy that's supposed to be getting married to Ro, or I think so at least. Like, stop running around selling moonshine doing dumb shit. I already caught you like 4 times this week. Exactly what Penny just said. Like, stop doing dumb shit.
The one that's like, those kids are gonna give you a problem. Just stay off of that side of town and just walk over here. Like something just like." Someone who like knows the community to that extent that they can just like, because I think half of being a lawman isn't showing up to an event. It's honestly knowing the community that you're in and being able to like interact with them in a way that you can kind of diffuse the conflicts that are kind of always happening. Yeah, he does that all the time. And I think that like that's at least as a lawman, that's how I always try to aim it, is that I want to get to the point where I kind of know the characters, that when I hear them, I see their faces, I'm like, okay, I know this person's trigger points and this person, so let's see if we can, because that's kind of the fun of law, is getting into the conflict and going, can I make it settle peacefully? Like, to me, that's half of the enjoyment. Can I get these characters to like stop arguing long enough to walk away from each other? Like that's. I think that Saint Denis and the Saint Denis Police Department is a perfect place for people who like to do that, because that's what it's going to be. You can't have shootouts in the city. I can have a shootout in Rhodes or in Valentine. It's a lot harder to have one in Saint Denis.
But are you guys prepared for the influx of people that are going to be applying for this? Because normally what we see, right, is like sometimes we'll see like 6 lawmen standing on the porch in Valentine, or 6 people standing on the porch in Rose or something like that, and then you'll have Ellery come up and say, "All right, then 2 of you fuck off, go out there and go on a patrol," or Bird will rock up and tell, "All right, how did that not bad?" And do the same thing, all right? Just grab a couple people. You come with me. You come with me. You come with me. You're going on a patrol, But in Saint Denis, there's going to have to be a lot more people, because it is.
There's no porch.
No. I'm not talking about a porch, but you can still hang out in the massive office they have, or in the backyard they have, or where all the horses are and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, are you gonna separate it? So you got like, you got this, like, we got 6 guys taking care of North Saint Denis, or because there's gonna be so many people wanting to play it, but also like, how many people are supposed to be there? Because you can't have only 6 lawmen patrol the entirety of Saint Denis, can you? It needs more.
There's gonna be more avenues for them. We're not really putting across Annisburg and North for people to be able to go check that out, because it's not too far. On top of that, there's also Sisika. There's plenty of avenues for people to move around. It is a big city. There's going to be plenty of space. I'm not worried about the influx of people that are going to want to join. It is going to be treated just like any other law faction, especially with recruitment. There's a whitelist for people to join law. We go through them. If they're accepted and they want to apply, it is always 100% going to be the discretion of the sheriff or the chief or the marshals, whoever is doing the recruitment. If they find that somebody is not fit for their department, they're not going to let them in. So I wouldn't worry about it too much.
And honestly, an influx of people into Saint Denis as a police department would be okay. Because in my opinion, if you go down to the Saint Denis Police Department, there should be somebody at that desk. There should be somebody in that office that's like ready to communicate with someone or talk. Like there should be a handful of people that are kind of there doing office work. Like that's a great thing for like assistants and officers to start doing because it gets you used to like the systems. And especially in the city, like that's how it would be anyway. But then you get the role play of, when they come in there, they get to interact with the people on that, they're coming to the office to pay a fine or to do this or to do that. And you get that interaction of it. And then even if it booms out to where there's a lot of people, the role play will eventually dictate to where they'll go, okay, well, 3 of you are going to go over here to the eastern part and patrol these streets through these streets. Like, that's what I'm looking forward to when we get to that point in roleplay where the chief of police is going, well, who's on... Because I don't know the names of all the streets in Saint Denis, but I know they're all named. And I know that you could learn the names of all the streets, and you could absolutely tell people, like... And the thing is if lawmen communicated to each other like that in that city, it would build people, like... The roleplay would build even more because it makes it so much more immersed, and it makes it so much more explosive and so much more, like, realistic. So, I say if people want to join and it brings a big influx of people to the city, bring it. That's a wonderful place for an influx to be.
Yeah. No. It wasn't so much that the problem with the influx, but you know how we've always said like there's 6, the groups of 6. The number 6 goes 666, But in Saint Denis, 6 lawmen is just not enough for such a big town. What I'm trying to, like, as Darcy just said, pairs of 2s, maybe have 10 lawmen at the same time patrol Saint Denis, because as Monet also said, we want the lawmen to be people, to be our peers, to have a story of their own and not just be lawmen. So we need them to come out there and engage with go up to it's not called Le Bastille anymore, it's called Club Cozy or something. Yep, that one. To go in there, sit and gamble a little bit, maybe have a drink or something like that, a pair or 2 right there, and we need a couple to go down and have a look at. Frank comes back and does some dumb shit down by the telegram station, the gun store. You know what I mean? I just don't see 6 being enough, for a town as big as Saint Denis. That was more what I meant with it. And we're gonna.
And I see. No, I see that point. I can agree with that. I can understand that it may not be enough, and that'll be something that kind of gets dictated over time. But I agree that just sending 2 out on patrol, because patrol really in Saint Denis would be more of a scouting type thing. You would be going out and kind of gathering information and bringing it back. It wouldn't you wouldn't be you'd be more doing foot chases and stuff in Saint Denis, is my thought.
Yeah. That'd be so great. Yeah, exactly. But also because we have big, large groups. We have the Lucas group. We have the Martellis. 2 guys are not gonna, act up on that. They're gonna run back to the police station and say, guys, we need some backup over here, okay? But do you have anyone in mind? I know you said Charlie Lynn, but who's gonna be chief of police there?
At the present moment. Yeah, I don't think anybody. I think we want to see where when we get it fleshed out, want to have another chat with Law and kind of see where that's going to go. I have someone in mind, but I'm going to keep that quiet until we get the flesh work done, and then as it comes out, we can speak more.
Yeah, I have someone in mind, but it's definitely something that I want to kind of play close to the chest and see sort of where that goes and how things work out. But ultimately, I want to make sure that whoever it is, that it's somebody that people are comfortable with, that they don't mind working under, and that that will help kind of grow the department and continue to build it up.
Can I come with one idea for whoever the person you're going to pick for it is going to be? I personally hope that it's going to be someone that teaches every single person that they have working underneath them to engage with the people and not only engage with the police station. You know what I mean? Like that is going to be your number one priority. Be your own, play your own story, but be engaging with the people of Saint Denis, because there's so much potential in Saint Denis with such a big town, and there's so many groups in
100%.
Saint Denis, and you really need to get out there and engage with them.
I can assure you, if it goes in the direction that me and Benny hope for, and then people get to decide who it is, there's one person in mind that we have, and I think that they will fit every single solitary checkbox with ease,
I
and
think so
everyone will
too.
be happy. Like, I can guarantee it if it does happen. So we will see.
Yep.
Is it Ellery?
Just a matter of.
Is
No,
it
but Ellery has his
No,
own things that he's
great.
planning and that he's putting together, which I'm also really excited to see, and that the DOJ has been hard at work on. And they are excited to talk to me about. So we will have more information about that probably in the coming months, probably around like January, for really if that motion gets to start moving the way we want it to. But that's going to be pretty exciting and a chance to build up some new stuff. And then with ranching coming out, you'll have, like you said, we'll hopefully have the Livestock Association before too long. We've got the Saint Denis Police Department, so lots of big new stuff coming as far as just like roleplay design and like mechanical design for law that's gonna shake it up a good bit and I think make it really strong. Also, DOJ has been working really hard, and I want it to be known that there is. I hear from Ellery lately on the part of the DOJ that there has never been a better time in the DOJ, and that they are functioning very well. They have plenty of officers. They have plenty of judges, that everybody's pulling their weight, which has always been a problem. So to see that really happening, I see lots of trials happening. I see lots of people that are having fun with that roleplay, which is hard roleplay to get people to have fun with, and people are enjoying it. They've been enjoying the way that there's been more community service and more of that sort of roleplay being motivated. So, kudos to the DOJ. You guys are often a silent working part of the law that doesn't always get a ton of recognition and oftentimes gets combated because of the roles that you have to play. But what you're doing is really, really appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And it's having a lot of positive impact. So
yeah, like I didn't really know much about the DOJ or anything on the server really until I actually became the mayor and met Ellery. You know what I mean? And I don't know much about Ellery's history on the server. All I know is that he used to play back in the days, in the very early days of the server. He was part of but all I knew when I joined was Longstreet. But seeing what Ellery and what I've heard about Ellery from other people as well, I hear a lot of people saying that they like what Ellery is doing. The way that he is running the show. I don't know if you guys got anything to say about that, but all I've heard is like basically 99% good stuff about the way that he has tried to help build up the way that is being run right now. Like, he's very hands-on.
He is very hands-on. He's very involved. He's not just in character, but out of character. He works a lot with LFM. He talks a lot to Bird and myself. We're getting ready to meet with him sometime this coming week to talk a little bit about some penal code stuff. So he's very active and staying on board. And that's a man who has a lot going on. He is a full-time officer of the law for a real-time job, and he's got a family and children. And like, he has a whole actual existence that is very important outside of this game, and yet he still finds time to come in here and give people good roleplay experiences and to devote his time to that. So if you do see Donovan Ellery and you haven't roleplayed with him, give the man a good scene and be nice to him, because he does a lot and gets blamed for a lot, but he's doing a lot that a lot of people would not have the time nor the energy nor spend the effort to do the way that he does it. And that also goes for Garfield, who has been in the DOJ since I came into the server as well, and has been like number 2 in the DOJ for forever, and has always been able to support and manage and keep it together while also being a full-time law student. So again, someone who is literally full-time law student in university and like taking full-time law classes and doing this for his actual day job and then also for his fun. So 2 of the people that run the DOJ and keep it moving are very dedicated outside of this game to make it happen. And it's a big time commitment. And if you, like I said, if you see him, be nice to him, give him a good scene, take him out to dinner in character, and they definitely deserve it.
Yeah,
because they handle a lot.
Yeah, it's like I've noticed on some of the other, like on Korn's stream, on Bobby's stream, that Ellery is not afraid of getting these big notorious criminals.
Whatever.
And
Ellery took Bobby out to dinner, and I'm bitter about it.
That's what I mean.
I got my lip and anal ointment pulled out of my pocket and embarrassed in front of the entire sheriff's office. And Bobby gets taken out on a personal dinner to the nicest bar in the entire city and fed steak and lobster. And I get shoved into Sisika with Connor O'Shea telling every motherfucker that he can that I've got lip and anal ointment in my pocket and it's medicated. I'm so over it. So over it.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's what he's stuff like that, you know. He takes Bobby, you know, and Bobby's supposed to be this big notorious criminal right now. Kip that Rainier, threatened the Saint Denis Police Department with a stick of dynamite to get was it Porter or to get Blondie out? I can't remember.
That's all hearsay until the trial. These are all accusations.
It was on stream.
Baseless accusations that you're making, sir.
Yeah. But
you have a memory of it.
Hashtag meta, okay? But what I mean is, like, he will sit down, and he's not scared of being, you know, that guy. Just sit down and just talk with them. You know what I mean? And I like that. I like that instead of just calling up Bird, say, Bird, go get these assholes right now.
You don't think he doesn't do that?
I don't know. You tell me.
Ellery is one of those people I played with Longstreet for a very long time, and I had a great time with Longstreet. But I really like what Ellery does, at least from my perspective of what the marshal should be. Where like if I'm with him, be like, Bird, he's like, get this swine out of the office, like, you know, something like that. Like, all right, Ellery, fine, little fella, get your ass out, and then I get to be the big bad tough guy that I want my character to be. You know, I can kick people out, but then I can take them out because I'm sure some of you might have role played with me before. But listen, don't listen to that loudmouth bastard in there. He just wears a fancy suit. Just play along with this. You know, I did like some silly shit like that. Mm-hmm. But I really like that he is a person. When I'm talking to his character, I'm not talking to, you know, let's say if I'm talking to you right now, you know, it's not a self-insert. There's a lot of emotion behind it, and there's reasons why he does the things that he does. And I appreciate that, especially with judge type characters. That's a big role you have to fill, especially like, you know, the Supreme Justice. There's a lot you have to do with that, and he does a fantastic job. He's not one thing that I love about him, because I do this myself, is I like quick banter with people. When somebody thinks that they're being the big bad scary guy, and you just hit them with a one-liner, and they're like, motherfucker. Like, you know, I love that kind of stuff. So.
He's so good at it.
He's great. I love him.
I like one of the things I like about him as well is when he really thinks about. Sometimes you can hear like he takes his time to formulate the sentence the really correct way to make the sentence even more intimidating than it is. You know, he'll take a good 5 seconds and not say a word, and just you can hear him go. Because he's always eating on something. You can hear him 90% of the time. He's always chewing on something. He's always eating.
He got that old man breathing down pat.
That's for sure.
And then he comes out with this sentence, and you go, "What the fuck?" Okay, and then, you know, usually the criminal just gives up. You know, okay, all right, that's it. All right, we're done with this now. I can't take it anymore. I think he's great at doing that.
100%.
All right, but we do have one thing that we need to do today before I forget. We do have a giveaway. We do have a
giveaway. You say?
Today.
Boy,
did a giveaway?
Did an hour go by already?
Not yet.
Not
yet. We're close to an hour. But we also have a giveaway, and we have some announcements. But there's still some things we need to talk about. But meanwhile, you guys keep the conversation going, because I'm just gonna set up this giveaway. Okay?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. So,
Right.
Sorry, I'm getting my Yoda blanket all set up.
You should be.
Everybody
you should be scared now. Because now it's time for the RLA question. Because what I'm wondering,
the RLA question.
What I'm wondering is, what have you guys prepared in terms of when the script goes live? It's gonna be mayhem.
It's
It
gonna
is,
be. It is. Yeah. Go ahead, Benny. Go
but
ahead.
I think that that's kind of okay, because from that chaos, a lot of RP will be born of the actual building of it and the insertion of it, and like people getting their characters involved. Because you're gonna have ranchers that are gonna have like a lot of ranch hands that have been working there, and then they're gonna be like, no, I need to get involved in protecting and doing more than just working on my ranch, and like and be getting. And I think that there are some kind of like handful of things that are kind of there and ready for when we need them, as far as like um making sure that it's at least somewhat covered. But I'm okay with a little bit of the chaos in the beginning, because I think that I think ultimately it's going to create it's going to end up creating people being a lot more fanatical about getting it organized and getting it together, and like following that line of role play. And I was saying yesterday, I was like, I can't wait until I can get to a point that I can make a character that's like, you just keep hearing about, every day I go out to get my eggs and they've all been stolen and I have no idea who's taking my eggs. Like, I can't. I'm so ready for that.
The way I'm thinking is, you have all these people. If you open the RLA as its new thing, there's going to be people that put in applications to get into that, and they're excited. Now I'm going to be the moor marshal. I'm going to be the one coming out to the ranches and helping. The first thing they see is just some ranchers screaming like, "Where have you been?"
Yeah.
It's been a nightmare.
I think so. Oh, I see the question. What is RLA? Isaiah, you're memeing, but for those who don't know what RLA is, it's the Ranch and Livestock Association, which is going to
Oh
be.
shit! Bert took out the he brought out the blanket.
It is going. Yeah, I got the blanket out. It's just going to be essentially another force of law that assists with ranchers and their day-to-day things. Like if someone is constantly hitting a ranch, marshals and lawmen can still go do those things, but that'll be those guys' specialty. And if lawmen want someone else to take over, they can be like, "Hey, RLA, this is for you. Help us out. Like, go get these fuckers." Yep. And they'll be working alongside the ranchers, because you're all fancy criminals on your ranches. I've seen you. So hopefully it'll be nice to have a man with a badge or somebody that can assist and kind of look over. Who knows where they might go? How long before the RLA corruption claims? The day one, as soon as somebody accidentally takes an egg.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. It is gonna take a little bit of time to get situated. We do have a lot of the groundwork for it now. It's just going to take role players, because like Marcy and a few other people, they sat there and they wrote up all their SOPs and they wrote up everything that they have ready for it. And they were trying to do it for a while, but it's really difficult without the script. We realized it was a project that we didn't need to put as much resources into until everything was done and said and ready. So the second it comes back, I think as long as we get the players to do it and they have the right mindset and that's their role play, and we can get law on board and get everyone associated knowing what it is going to be, I think people will acclimate to it very well, and then it'll be just another little thing that people can role play about. And that's what we want. We just want more things to add role play, and I think you're going to get that with that. It's going to be fucking sick.
Yeah, I think that was one of the issues when it was there the first time around. Was they when it was first created, they did come by a lot, but there wasn't really. I can only speak on Emerald's behalf. There wasn't the RP to facilitate them existing, right? Because the issues that a range like that faces is, I was planting, I got robbed, shucks, law comes out, we'll see if we can find them. They go back, right? So it's also kind of for the law. It's a place that's very far away. We won't reach it. Maybe they won't even send a telegram when it's happening, so we'll know afterwards. What changes then with the script is also now that there is a constant, huge investment that's always at risk if it needs to be operating. So now they also have to facilitate that RP for the RLA, because it's someone that needs to be present there much more than the law would usually be.
100%.
Without getting bored to death.
All right, for this giveaway, Shally says she's going to give a $25 gift card for Ranch Roleplay, so you can do a little bit of get yourself a little bit of priority with that. Yay, woo! Give it up for
Shally, dude.
Yeah, Shally. So
thank you, Shally.
Thank you, Shelly. Thank you. So in order to win this here giveaway, all you need, because this is what Shelly said. I did not come up with this. I would have been like that. I would have done it. But all you gotta type is this. I will type it in the chat right now. Oink. Because today's episode of the podcast has been about law. So she said, "How about oink?" So if you that's what Shelly said, okay?
Shelly's a jerk.
She was trying to push for getting pick emotes, so that could be spammed as well. But yes, so if you type oink in the chat, you are in the role, and we're gonna give you guys a couple of minutes to finish it up, typing in oink. But at the meantime, we're gonna give you guys a public service announcement next Sunday at 9 o'clock at night, GMT +2, which is the 3 p.m. EST where we normally start. We're gonna have another podcast about how to CK, what it feels CKing someone very important, and what made you make that choice, what made you, what's the aftermath, how to make it feel, what can it facilitate, what RP can it facilitate after that. The people we're gonna have on is going to be everyone's favorite tea dealer pusher, Azak, aka Rupert Quinn from Armadillo, Mr. Quinn down from Armadillo, I believe, and everybody's favorite Krabby Cowboy, Krabby Gumbo music producer,
the Crab Killer,
the Crab Killer himself,
The Crab Killer himself.
The Crab Killer himself. We're gonna have Dan, Peter Walsh,
Franklin Campbell.
Yes, Franklin Campbell is his current character, or what's his his Civ character? I don't actually know.
Conroy. That's my brother, Conroy.
Yes. Can you please get Chi in to talk about Doctor? Yes, we already spoke about this earlier today. We are going to get Chi,
for sure.
Chi in to talk about the Doctor side. We are 100% going to be doing that. But just again, type in oink in chat if you haven't already. You will be in the run for getting a $25 gift card you can use on Ranch Roleplay to buy yourself in priority. But yes, give it up for Azag and Peter Walsh. They're gonna be here in the next Sunday. And we are also going to be talking about. We would like to ask you guys if you guys would like to see some character, some RP podcasts that are being revolved around someone that wants to showcase either their character, how they built it, how they came up with the idea, the backstory, how they facilitated their RP, who they met, how they influenced them. Not just it doesn't necessarily have to be a character. It could be a family, it can be a business, it can literally be anything. But instead of just having LFM, IFM, mapping, graphics team, staff, we just want to reach out and ask you guys, would you guys like to have a podcast where we put on Bird, not necessarily Bird, but anyone really, and talk about their character, how they came up with the character, how they did that. Because if you would like that, then we're going to put up a suggestion box or a volunteer box on the Discord where you can write in your name what you want to, if you want to do it about a family, a gang. It's kind of like a showcase, basically, like a character faction business family showcase, and we'll sit here and we'll talk about you, your family members, about that. We're gonna put that on the Discord, and you can put it in the box and then we'll pick some people from the box and we'll do a podcast about that every now and then. But if it's not an interesting thing for you, then if everybody just goes boo, we don't want that, fuck that shit, then we're not gonna do it, obviously.
Yes, just kind of giving people like an opportunity to also show us the great RP stories that you guys have created, and instead of us only, basing what we're doing and what we're talking about on the things that we've seen personally, both in game and on the server Discord, that we can get some of these things presented to us. There might be an incredible RP story out there somewhere that I've not witnessed because it's not in my time
Mhm.
zone, for instance.
Yeah.
That
Or
I just
even
look and I
someone you
think this is.
or someone you
Yep.
play with, Dip.
That
You know,
happens all the time.
Yeah,
it might be
exactly.
someone up in Annisburg. I have no idea what goes on up in Annisburg. I know there's much more live and more people that play it, but I have no idea what goes on up there. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I'm gonna give you guys 30 seconds to type in your last oinks for the giveaway. I'm gonna roll in 30 seconds. So for the $25 giveaway, if you haven't written it down, you are not in the game. You're not in it. I can tell you right now, the people that have written in the chat ever since then is a Smart Cow. You're not in it. Benny, Bloody Damn It, Raninosko. That's it. That's the people that have been typing in chat. Everybody else, you're already in it. You don't have to type it anymore. But just to make sure, all right, we're rolling it now. Drum roll. Someone give me a drum roll. Someone. Bloody damn it. You need to type oink in chat if you want to win the 25. If you want to have a chance of winning the $25 giveaway card for buying priority in on Ranch Roleplay. If you don't type in oink, you're not in it. Okay. All right. That last oink, not the last oink, the last drum roll. Can we get more? Everybody at the same time. Benny, come on, join in. There you go. We're rolling it.
Ranch Roleplay one?
We're gonna re-roll that one.
rigged.
We're gonna re-roll that one.
It's rigged.
We're gonna re-roll that one. Okay, we're
Rigged.
re-rolling that.
Rigged day.
We're re-rolling it. Re-rolling it.
That's wild.
Okay, guys. Okay, that was just a practice run. Okay, that was just a practice run. Okay, it was just a joke. It was just a joke. Okay, we're re-rolling that one. Okay. We're re-rolling it. Okay.
That's hilarious.
Oh my God! Look at who won.
No, fate has spoken.
Congratulations.
Fate has
Everybody's
spoken.
Favorite crab killer won.
The crab killer himself.
Wait, what?
No,
Look at that.
He says whatever. He says whatever.
Whatever.
Stop it!
All right.
Whatever.
Reroll it again. Don't give it to Dan.
Dan, do you actually want it? I just need to ask, does Dan actually want it? Doesn't he have, like, do you want
Give
it,
him
Dan?
that $25. That man deserves that $25.
Okay. Anyone want? All right.
Highest bidder.
All right. Okay. All right. Last one. Last thing we have to talk about is right now that
$30.
you guys have it now. You guys, if you guys got any questions, probably not for me or Dip, but if for me and Dip, it's going to be about the podcast, obviously. If you have any questions about LFM for Benny or Bert, the floor is yours, guys. Ask your questions now. I know that Cactus Coogan had one before. It's I believe that's Benny's separated at birth twin. I got a question. Will there be some more incentive to play more towards mountain men hermits, a kind of hunter character, something that gives more proper hunter kind of work to people? More than people occasionally running out to hunt, since I sometimes manage to hunt for hours, yet few places open to sell to. That's not really an
I
LFM.
can kind of, I
Okay.
can kind of, it's not LFM, but I can answer that as an admin. So if you want to be a mountain man or a hermit, and that's the role play that you've dedicated your kind of character to, you can find players out there that need meat. There's hunting bait. I'm sure there's something you could even start up in character if you want to start your own little commune of like hunters or whatever you might want to be. When it comes to a few places open to sell to, maybe that might be a time difference, but there are people who buy meat and there are people who buy those things for the recipes. Butcher tables, I know, aren't really awesome roleplay. I know myself and Peter Walsh in the chat actually have event characters that we play. We did once that we should probably start doing again, where we would go to the butcher tables and we would buy the meat from people like that. So maybe that might be a thing, but really it's about getting out there and you got to make that RP happen. You got to talk to people. You got to start pushing things. That's my personal advice for that.
Yeah, you want to touch on that as well, Benny? Or you want to take the new?
Yeah, I was also just gonna say too. Yeah, with the question about the mountain men and the hermits. Another part of it too is that roleplay is one of those things where you're kind of essentially trying to get somebody to buy into investing their time into you. And if you got like this kind of like mountain men kind of huntsman thing, like don't be afraid to like roam through the towns and find like new people and sort of introduce them to your style of RP, like take them out in the wild and show them how you hunt and show them how you make it different and how it's like a kind of an experience.
100%.
And that's kind of how you can spread that, because then it'll sort of grow from there. And you won't get everybody to sign on to it, but you'll get like that one person every now and again who'll like snag on, and they'll be they'll be right there for it. And they'll just kind of continue to go with you. I say this in the sense that I've always wanted to do like a kind of weird doctor medical like RP. And for anyone here who is never encountered Holokai, you are missing out. That is one of the coolest little role players that I've ever seen, and the way that she does things is so unique and so interesting. And I reached out to her and I was like, if you ever want like an apprentice to like have someone study under you, I would love to make that character. So sometimes you just find people that like, if you just go around and introduce your style of roleplay to people, even if it's not for them, you'll find people who will like latch onto it and be like, I want to do this more because it's so interesting. And so don't be afraid to like just go out and kind of let people see the roleplay that you do. That's the best thing you can do, is don't commit to it to the point that you never go to town. Go to town enough to get people to follow you.
And sell in bulk. Sell in bulk. That's my best tip.
It's a question from Deadpaw, which is Mr. Ford Love, Mr. Red Walder. Not specifically about LFM, but what's the stance on admins / illegal faction management being able to lead gangs? I know there's been concerns about this previously. Just interested to hear the stance. I will give you my personal thought on that. Whether it's gangs, whether it is law, whether it is any faction in the game, staff are not just staff members. They are all here to be players of the game. One person who is leading the marshals at the moment is Mr. Coates. Coates was playing in law before he was ever a staff member. I, on the other hand, have been staff since the start. People like that, they've earned their role play. People know them. They've gotten into the points where they deserve to be there. There's nothing extra special about them just having to be an admin. Personally, at the end of the day, we want everyone to be able to play the game. Admins are not here to just do tickets. They're here to also experience everything that we have on here.
Exactly, because staff is going to end up, because trust me, staff, we do a lot of stuff behind the scenes as well, and sometimes we just want to go role play. Sometimes we just want to sit there and role play and not care about being a staff member. But even when we just sit there and role play, we have to be staff members as well. And to deny that to someone, we can't really go ahead and do that. I mean, you work yourself up from the bottom.
Yes. And that's the truth. And as long as you should be approaching everything in roleplay, and we tell staff this from the get-go, you should be approaching everything in roleplay as this is the first time that you've done it. And this is the first time the character has done that. And I say that in the sense of like, I am head of LFM and I have been for a while. I'm playing an assistant deputy who's like, and I'm having to work my way up from the bottom and actually like experience that track. And it's I think for illegal factions too, if you have staff or admin that are kind of like playing illegal factions or playing leadership in gangs, that's fine as long as they're telling that story, and it stays that way, and it doesn't become a negative thing, which is easy enough to find and monitor.
But there's another one from Dirty Walrus. Yes, actually.
Sorry,
nope.
We just wanted to do them in order, so we don't let. So we got.
Oh, is there another one I missed?
We got VX. Fort Mercer has always been a cool place on the map, and an even cooler place for crims to RP or even have a hideout. However, it is owned by law / LFM, and it is rarely used. Would LFM law ever be open to giving up those properties and open up more avenues for crim RPers who would like to RP there?
I'm not against that whatsoever. I don't think as law we've used that more than 3 times. So
I don't necessarily have a problem against it. It doesn't get used a ton, and it seems to me if we're gonna have like New Austin be kind of a lawless place, I think it'd be kind of cool to have like let the New Austiners get it out and claim the fort back. They just get to roleplay keeping it.
It's an abandoned fort at this point. I don't want to hold that to law so they get to use it 3 times a year, personally. If there's role play that goes forward and somebody tries to claim it and they want to, cool. Have at it.
Yep.
That's all shit that could be done in character, so.
Facts.
All right, now go ahead with the Dirty Walrus one, Bird.
For Dirty Walrus asked, where is RLA going to fit on jurisdiction-wise with the current role where we have FAS, whichever sheriff's department, marshals, and etc. RLA presently is going to be under. So FAS is actually a subsection in Monroe Department of Revenue. So with that, FAS is a subsection inside of that. So that will be ran by still Commissioner Darcy Edwards, Commissioner. He will be able to head all of that. Their jurisdiction is they will have free roam, but they are not to be doing regular police work. They are to be doing strictly with the ranches. That's it. So anywhere there's a ranch, you'll see them there.
And that's kind of the point that they're going to serve as kind of going ranch to ranch. Rather than going town to town, they'll be going ranch to ranch. And so they'll have that benefit of like, they'll be on the roads more. They'll see, kind of some activity on the offbeat road places. And that's kind of to make it kind of so, if you have a smaller network of connectivity, but they'll be more aware of what's going on. And every other part of law, like MDOR and all of its little departments, marshals, law, DOJ, they're all meant to supplement each other and to help each other out in different ways. And so it just is going to make it better for them, rather than, we have no information about these ranches getting robbed. They'll be able to then go to the Ranch and the Livestock Association and go, hey, do you guys know anything about this incident? And can you tell us about how this might look familiar to anything else? So it just kind of opens up the network, and it starts to, it again builds more communication, more role play.
Just to touch on that one, Plovius versus Twitch. This is from my point of view, from an RPer's point of view. You were asking, has there been any conversations about adding the United States military? I know you guys just had an event where you played some of the military that's supposed to go to Rhodes, the distillery or something like that, to break in there. Problem is, what's the point of having the military? Like, there's not really a point.
I'll hard stop you there. No.
Okay.
No, well, we didn't do that.
No.
That was events team for somebody to have a personal storyline.
I literally just said that was event team doing the military.
We won't be doing anything like that.
No, that's what I mean. What's the marshal's job then? If they can do the entire state, what's the point in having a military then? That's what I said.
Yeah, it's just it's a lot.
Yeah, there's no point really.
Oaks threw the idea when we were like a few days into the server where this would be like for the really, really, really big bad guys. It's like they're like, taking over an entire town, a lawman, or that's it. They can't do anything about it. But the more we got into it, it just takes away role play from other people. Even Oaks backed down on the idea. I think we're all on the point where we don't think it's a necessary thing. With when and if Mexico ever comes a thing, maybe there'll be an event or two, but we're not sure yet. So most likely no is the answer I'll give for that.
I'm gonna say, I know that there's a gunsmith question floating around in here too. I'm not gonna. You gave me an idea that I'm gonna take to the other people and see if we can maybe help you guys out if that's actually a problem. I want to talk to Econ team and see if maybe we can sort that out, because that could be. I got a neat idea for that. I think that might be kind of interesting. So we shall see.
Look at that. Getting econ solved, potentially solved on an LFM podcast. Let's go.
Yeah, I just saw the problem. I just saw what it was, and I was like, I actually just thought of an idea. So I'm going to see what the possibility is that idea could actually occur.
All right.
So,
all right. If there's nothing else, you guys, the chat, anything. If nothing else, then we'll wrap this up.
Sweet.
Any way to mass produce written books? There's bookstores. Yeah, you can make a ticket, or there's bookstores. We got people that run publishing companies and stuff. There's libraries. I believe there's a library in Blackwater. I don't think that the White Mansion is currently a library, but there was a while where it was. So if anybody ever wanted to bring that back and do a library or a university, I know REO would absolutely love you for it. So there's that's always a possibility, and that would be a legal faction. So that would be something we could actually talk about.
And then when's the law menu coming? No time yet. Golden's hard at work. This man is overloading himself. Yeah. So we're letting him. When it comes out, it comes out.
And there's other people involved in that process too now. So it's been sped up, but it's still going to take some time. And but it should be hopefully not too much longer. I don't think. I don't want to give a time limit and then be wrong, but I would rather just say be patient and then it come earlier than expected.
And then there's one more, which is not our forte, just for Dead Budget, so he gets a little answer for that. NFM getting some new native features mechanics. Make an NFM ticket and ask them. We do not handle native stuff.
And for Nomad Recons, just apply. You walk up to them in game, and they'll talk to you, and they'll tell you how to apply. That's it. Go engage with them in game, and they'll tell you. We do have a whitelisting. No, it's not a whitelisting process, but it kind of is a whitelisting process for.
No, there's a whitelist app online. There is a whitelist app online. Yeah, use a whitelist app.
So yeah, that's how you do it. By the way, just for another thing that you guys mentioned that there's going to be a change in Saint Denis. There's coming changes for the Saint Denis Police Department with the working with Sisika. Keep your ears and eyes out. There might be another surprise around the corner. Who knows? See if anything changes in Saint Denis specifically. Who knows? Maybe something coming. Yep. Maybe something coming. So,
maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Keep your ears out. People might be, telling you a thing or two, showing you a thing or two in game. Who knows? With that said, I need to get the Nightbot to leave this so you don't. All right, I can do that later. I'll do that later.
I was about to say, man, the new bot is angry
it's because
with
I
the
haven't
furious.
Listen, I haven't set up anything for it. It's just, anyone writes "okay" in caps. Okay, boom, you're using all caps.
Like that's the thing. But then Marceline came in here and just spoke completely in caps and nothing.
Yeah, because I literally just clicked the part channel button.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, for the last thing again, next Sunday we're gonna have same time, same place. We're gonna have CK, how to CK, what happens when you CK, before you CK, the build up, the aftermath of a CK, everything about CK. We're gonna have Azak for Rupert Quinn and Peter Walsh, the crab killer himself, on it. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you next time. Anyone got anything else? That goes for Bird.
Can you delete throwaway tunes? Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me on here. I appreciate it. I always enjoy coming on and having an uninterrupted time for people to listen to me talk. It's one of my favorite pastimes. So thanks for that. And it was nice to come in and share the opinions and have some conversation and talk shop. And I always have a good time getting to do that. So thank you so much.
Well,
thank y'all for having us.
We're happy to feed that.
Yeah. And who knows? Maybe we'll have you come on talk about the CK of Huck at some point.
Oh, good God. I'll cry.
You better.
Say something nice, Burr. Say something nice. Look at the Benny, what all the stuff that he just said. Say
something nice? Okay. Thanks, Doug. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Doug.
Yeah, you didn't say to the degree of which you had to be nice. You just
You're
said
so great,
nice.
Doug. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything that
thank
you do.
Love
you don't
that
give into peer
blanket.
pressure. You have great sweaters. You like my blanket. There's nothing more that I could ask from you. And Rainier, you're my buddy Sludge, man.
It's your buddy Sludge, man. Come on.
Thank you guys. It's been I enjoy things like this because I like to talk way too much. And especially on my last days off on the week, I get to have a couple of beers and just hang out with my buddies and chat. Thanks for everyone who's playing on the server too. You guys fucking rock. Without you guys, we would be sitting by ourselves just talking about roleplay. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Shali, for a $25 gift card, even though Peter Walsh does not deserve that. And then thank you everyone else for being in the chat and spamming it up and getting assaulted by the bot. So you guys rock.
Yep.
We've got we've got Uncle Albert Brinsworth streaming. We've got Island 64 streaming. We rated Korn last time. And we've got Virgil Fitzgerald streaming on Kush. My vote's gonna be for Island 64.
Island 64?
I'm gonna say that's gonna be my vote.
Island 64 it is then, guys.
Mr.
Island
Silvio.
Let's go and raid the barber.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you again for tuning in. Same time, same place next time. Yeah. And thank you so much.
Same
for
bat
today.
time, same bat channel.
Same procedure.
Thank you for watching Rain's Roleplay.
Same blanket.
Is the VOD going to be posted immediately?
See y'all around.
Leo usually downloads it and posts it on YouTube. As far as I believe, I always DM him. Have you downloaded the VOD? Because this channel is not affiliated. It's not anything. VODs will automatically get deleted after 7 days. So he has to download them and upload them to YouTube. So I will I'll see if I can get an announcement out or something like that for the YouTube channel, so you guys can go watch the VOD there.
And then
or have a
Angry
link.
fiance in chat, so I love you, Madison. Hello?
Yeah. Get all your loves out. Get everything. Get your hypes out because you got about, let's say, about 20 seconds left before it auto rates.
Yep.
So if you wanna give any shout outs.
Yeah, shout out to Franklin Campbell. Shout out to all the road boys. You know what it is.
You know what it is.
Big shout out to Ozza. I'm so glad you're back. It's been such a joy to roleplay with you. You have no idea how happy it's made me. Big shout out to all of the LSO lawmen that have taken me in and taught me everything as I've come in. It's been great.
Thanks, everybody. All right, have a good day. See you later.
See you next Sunday.